Welcome to eLibrary Solutions India. You know, choosing the right statistical software can feel a lot like choosing between a Swiss Army knife and a full-on surgeon's toolkit. One is perfect for everyday tasks, but the other, well, that's for precision work. In this explainer, we're going to break down which one you really need for the job. Think about it. We are just surrounded by data. It's an absolute ocean of numbers and observations. But how in the world do you turn all of that raw info into something you can actually use? How do you find the signal in all that noise? Well, the answer lies in the science of statistics. It's the set of tools and techniques we use to make sense of everything. Statistics helps us describe what we're looking at, sure, but it also helps us draw conclusions, letting us make smart decisions even when we're facing a bit of uncertainty.
Okay, but before you can even think about analyzing your data, you have to understand what kind of data you're working with. And trust me, this is absolutely crucial for picking the right statistical tool.
You can kind of think of it like a ladder. With each step up, you get more information and way more analytical power. So down at the bottom, you've got nominal data. These are just simple categories, like male or female. One step up, you've got ordinal data, where the order actually matters, like winning a gold medal. Then comes interval data, where the spaces between values are equal, like temperature. And right at the top, we have ratio data, which has a real, absolute zero. Think about things like height or weight.
So here's the crucial point. Knowing your data's level tells you what you can do with it, and just as important, what you can't do with it. For example, you can't calculate a meaningful average of different religious preferences, right? And you can't say that 80 degrees Fahrenheit is twice as hot as 40 degrees because that scale doesn't have a true zero. Getting these distinctions down is step one. All right, now that we have a handle on our data types, let's get into the tools. And we're going to start with the one that most people grab first.
Yep, we're talking about Excel. You can really think of it as the Swiss Army knife of the data world. It's versatile, it's on pretty much every computer out there, and it's great for a ton of simple stuff. Data entry, quick summaries, making basic charts. For a quick look at things, it gets the job done.
But, and this is a big but, is it a true statistical powerhouse? Well, a lot of experts have some serious reservations. As you can see here, Excel was just never built to be a dedicated stats package. It was made for accounting and organizing stuff, not for the really complex math and error checking that serious research needs.
So, if that Swiss Army knife isn't quite cutting it for a really complex job, what do? You gotta call in a specialist. And that's where something like SPSS comes in. It stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. If Excel is that handy pocket knife, SPSS is the full surgeon's toolkit. It's a piece of software built from the ground up specifically for serious, in-depth statistical work.
Putting them side by side like this really makes the difference pop, doesn't it? Excel is fantastic for that first look, for whipping up a quick chart for a presentation. But SPSS, that's built for the heavy lifting. We're talking complex hypothesis testing, advanced modeling, and getting the kind of super detailed, rigorous output that real research demands.
And check out the depth here. This is really cool. For instance, both programs can make a simple two-way table, what's called a cross-tabulation. But SPS doesn't just give you the table. It gives you a whole battery of extra tests, like chi-squared and Kramer's V. These are tools that measure the strength of the relationship you're seeing and tell you if your findings are statistically significant. In other words, are they real or did they just happen by random chance? That's the level of detail that separates a spreadsheet from a real statistical package.
So the verdict here isn't that one of these is good and the other is bad. That's not the point at all. It's all about knowing what you need to do and then picking the right tool for that specific job.
Let's just boil it down. For quick calculations, data entry, and simple charts, yeah, Excel's a perfectly fine place to start. But the second your questions get more complex, the second you need to do rigorous research or some really deep analysis, a dedicated package like SPSS becomes absolutely essential.
And of course, the world of statistical software is huge. It's not just a two-horse race between Excel and SPSS. You've got SAS, which is a giant in business analytics, Minitab, which is used all the time in education, and then powerful tools like S+ and Stata for really high-end research.
So, the key takeaway here is pretty simple. Match your software to your scientific question. Don't ever try to perform surgery with a pocket knife. Your data has a story hidden inside it. The real question is, which tool are you going to choose to unlock it? Thank you for listening and do subscribe to our channel for more.